After his girlfriend falls in love with another man, a cartoonist begins to explore transactional intimacy, which gradually redefines his views on relationships. One peaceful morning in 1999, Chester wakes up next to his girlfriend, Sunny, when she suddenly admits that she's falling in love with someone else. Though shocked and hurt, he continues to express his love towards her, even supporting her idea of openness in their relationship. Ultimately, the couple mutually decides to remain living together, despite the new situation, rather than breaking up. Following this, they transition into their routines, with Chester, a cartoonist, working on illustrations for his book in their basement, while Sunny starts her day as a host for a music video channel. That evening, his girlfriend brings up that her contraception has expired since they haven't been intimate in a long time. Awkwardness fills the air, so he changes the subject by complimenting her shirt and gifting her a book he has painted the cover for. She thanks him before informing him that she needs to head out. Chester offers to accompany her, but she turns him down, stating that he'll most likely read a book in a corner. Not long after, at a band performance, Sunny is smitten by one of the guitarists, Miles, and films him exclusively with her camera. Backstage, the guitarist approaches her and admires her shirt before they share a hug, confirming that he's the guy she's currently seeing. The next day, during a meal with his comic artist friends, Chester shares with them the arrangements of his relationship. They insist it will never work, especially when his girlfriend starts sleeping with her other partners, as it will make him jealous. Therefore, they advise him to counter this by doing the same. Sometime later, while Sunny is out clubbing with Miles, her boyfriend is all alone at their home. There, he spends time playing with their shared dog named Mo, but the sight of the book he gifted to her dampens his enthusiasm. To brighten his mood, he heads down to the basement and indulges himself with an adult magazine. That same night, he confronts her for coming home late, to which she apologizes. When he tries to initiate intimacy with her, she quickly turns him down, explaining that she can't engage with him physically due to her current romance with Miles. She admits that she's feeling conflicted with their open relationship, but once again, he remains understanding of her. The next morning, Chester moves out of their bedroom to live in the basement. Through the thin walls, he overhears his girlfriend and her other partner make love upstairs. This makes him jealous, but he tries to calm himself by taking a deep breath and immersing himself in a book. The following day, at the comic convention, he opens up to his friend, Kane, about the mess from yesterday. Rather than admitting jealousy, he insists that the experience empowered him to defeat a negative aspect of himself. Later, he checks in on his other friend, Laura, who's feeling down because no one came to her book signing. She expresses her envy, knowing that Mandy Mullins, an adult model, has longer lines of fans than she does. Chester's friend urges him to take a picture with the model after hearing that he knows her, but he refuses, reasoning that he isn't desperate to spend money just for a hug. Instead, he buys his friend's book and urges her to sign it. The gesture touches her, though she returns his money and jokes that he should use it to hire a lady companion. One afternoon, Chester sees Sunny appear on screen, hosting a channel. Unable to bear it, he immediately turns the TV off and retreats to the basement. He then spends time with himself, imagining an intimate moment with Mandy Mullins. At first, he feels an immense delight, but his mood turns sour when Miles's voice echoes in his mind. Unsatisfied, he grabs some cash and hops on his bicycle to look for adult workers. Despite his courage and effort, he fails to find any and simply pedals back home. While having dinner, he borrows a Jules Eros book from Sunny and asks about Miles' whereabouts. She tells him that he's sick at home, so she plans to check on him. She then quickly heads out to her new boyfriend's house, but realizes that he isn't there. Bothered by the situation, Sunny heads to a bar for a drink, where she unexpectedly finds him with another woman. Disheartened, she storms out while he calls after her. Meanwhile, Chester reads the chapter from Jules Eros's book that includes advice on how to hire and treat a lady of the night. He diligently takes note and starts contacting them from their ads in the back of free alternative newspapers, asking about their physical appearance, along with their rate. After his multiple unsuccessful calls, he finally hires Kitty, whom he meets the next day. She immediately asks for payment, and as she counts the money, he makes himself comfortable, although it's obvious he's tense. Before long, she joins him on the bed and asks for the kind of service he's looking for. Learning that it was his first time, she reminds him that their encounter is about his desires, giving him the courage to finally say what he wants. Throughout the process, Kitty remains gentle and supportive, offering guidance and praise instead of shaming him for finishing quickly. By the end of their time together, Chester gives her a generous tip, to which she expresses her gratitude, as she badly needs money. Because of the pleasant experience, the customer returns home with a smile on his face. In the living room, Sunny curiously comments on his unusually blissful mood. Without inhibitions, her partner admits to paying for intimacy, much to her surprise. When she asks why he did it, he casually replies that he's exploring other means of intimacy, without having to commit to a relationship. This leaves her baffled, yet she remains supportive of him, only asking him never to bring his conquests into their house. Then, she confides that she ended her relationship with Miles, prompting him to comfort her. A year later, the pair remains in a good platonic relationship, though Sunny has since moved on with a new boyfriend named Carl. Chester, on the other hand, continues browsing magazines and websites to hire ladies, and he eventually finds Anne. The following day, he meets her at her place to make love. After being intimate, they lie in bed and share a tender moment, talking about their work and his comics. One night in the basement, Chester suddenly overhears an argument between Sunny and Carl. He considers stepping in, but changes his mind when the two appear to be patching things up. The next morning, the comic artist vents to his friends about how unpleasant it was to listen to the quarrel between his ex-girlfriend and her new man. Laura says that Sunny is blinded by Carl's good looks, not realizing that he's a terrible person. Then, Kane shifts the conversation by criticizing Chester's choice of companion, considering their age gap. In defense, he highlights her gentle nature and mentions that he gifted her a copy of his latest comic as a thoughtful gesture. His friend immediately questions him upon hearing his way of treating his paid companions, but he explains that getting to know each other makes the experience more intimate rather than cold. Scoffing, Kane fires back that if that's what he wants, he'd be better off getting an actual girlfriend. Later, in Anne's place, the patron remembers his previous conversation with his friends, so he remains quiet throughout his time with his conquest. The worried worker notices the change in his behavior, prompting her to refer him to her colleague, Amanda. This leads him to book a schedule with the new woman, only to discover that she's strict. Before engaging in intimacy, she narrates a set of rules and meticulously inspects his private part. Sometime after, Chester heads to Anne's place for another appointment, only to find Amanda hurriedly packing. She explains that the police raided their place, worrying the patron. Before she leaves, he asks her if she can pass along his payment to her colleague. On the other hand, Sunny takes a bath with Carl in their house. Noticing that he's dozing off, she playfully grabs her water gun and sprays him. This, however, angers him, so he storms out of the bathroom, leaving the woman stunned. Upon Chester's return home, he sees their place wrecked, with his ex sitting on the floor. Through tears, she recounts that Carl dumped her after a fight. The man gently reassures her that it was probably for the best. Despite her miserable state, the woman still shows up to work later on. However, the situation leaves her lethargic and absent-minded enough for her co-workers to worry. Not long after, Chester meets another lady of the night named Tina, whose attractive appearance in her magazine ad enticed him. At her place, his anticipation turns to regret the moment he sees that she looks different from her photo, leading him to end their encounter. Just as he's leaving, he comes across a group of women having a heartfelt conversation in another room. Taking this chance, he picks another lady, Angelina, to spend the night with him. Unlike his previous partners, he fails to share a tender moment with her, as she remains silent due to her inability to speak English. Back home, he casually shares his latest encounter with Sunny, which prompts her to ask him why he chooses younger women. He replies that his chances of finding attractive women are higher that way, leading his ex-girlfriend to feel insulted. The next day, Chester dines with his friend when they press him regarding his lifestyle. They believe he should have pursued a girlfriend instead of sleeping around. He sternly tells them that a monogamous relationship is a waste of time and is made for insecure people who need constant validation. Years later, in 2002, Sunny nervously practices her script for her first movie. The director, Reed, offers a compliment about her talent to calm her. Meanwhile, Chester continues to meet intimate workers, though he feels unsatisfied with his current lady due to her rehearsed responses and rude attitude. Because of this, he decides to see Angelina again, but is surprised to meet a transgender worker who shares the same name. She informs him that the other Angelina had already left the business. Elsewhere, Sunny and Reed are on their way home after seeing a movie together. Suddenly, he points out her habit of getting distracted and advises her to stay grounded and wary of who she shares her energy with. Touched by his words, she pulled him in for a passionate kiss, marking the beginning of their romantic relationship. One day, Chester books another lady who's older and less appealing than his previous partners. Annoyed by her tardiness and demanding attitude, he cancels their appointment and heads home. Around the same time, Sunny makes a big decision of her own by quitting her job as a host to pursue a new career. Later, at home, Chester flips through the magazines until he finds Ulissa, but her service demands that she visit her clients in their homes. This new setup surprises Chester, but after a long time of unsuccessful intimacy, he risks inviting her over, completely disregarding Sunny's condition about their house. The beautiful lady of the night eventually arrives, and her customer leads her to the basement. There, she notices his collection of water jugs and uses it to flirt with him. Taken aback, the man offers her a drink and hurries to the kitchen upstairs to fetch it. Shortly, he returns to their room, only to see her waiting in her lingerie. This excites him, prompting the woman to pull him close. Moments later, he expresses that he forgot what it felt like to be kissed. Curious, he asks if she does the same with other clients, to which she says that it was an extra part of their arrangement. She turns to question him if he has a girlfriend, and he tells her that he doesn't want one. He claims that romantic love isn't good, even comparing it to making a person believe they own one another. Ulissa disagrees, claiming that love is a choice. After sharing their different sentiments on relationships, the woman brings up her admiration for Chester's comic book, saying that she can relate to his stories. Then, she asks him if it was comfortable with her knowing who he truly is. The man simply nods and says that he has nothing to hide. As the woman prepares to leave later, she comes across Sunny with her new boyfriend. Both women are stunned to see each other until Sunny finally confronts Chester about their deal of never bringing ladies of the night over before walking away. The startled Ulissa then curtly tells Chester that their arrangement will no longer work for her, so she leaves in dismay. That same night, a calmer Sunny approaches her ex to tell him the truth. It turns out, Ulissa was married to Sunny's father, making her technically her stepmother despite their close age. The woman found it disgusting for her father to have married the woman, more so since she knew her profession. Since Sunny's father passed, the women cut ties with each other, making it shocking for the stepdaughter to find the woman with her ex-boyfriend. Given the situation, Sunny decides that Chester should move out. This will also allow Reed to move in with her as their relationship is getting serious. Chester doesn't argue and just moves out the following day. In his new place, his illustrations begin to mirror his current state of mind. Meanwhile, at Sunny's house, Reed replaces a framed illustration of her and Chester, but she places it back, showing that she still values her previous relationship. One rainy afternoon, Chester stumbles upon Ulissa leading an educational tour. Shy, he hides and decides to admire her from afar, but she quickly notices him and calls him out. Soon after, the pair reunites at his place, and despite their connection with Sunny, they spend the day being intimate and rekindling their connection. For the next few days, the man continues to see her for paid intimacy. At one point, while sitting in bed, their conversation drifts toward their interest and life experiences, where Ulissa discloses that she's interested in architecture and morality. She further shares that she got into the industry through university, saying that it helped her feel more confident about herself. Recently, however, she decided to downsize her client list, and she teasingly mentions that he made the cut. Hearing this, Chester hands her a copy of his new comic, and the delighted woman enthusiastically asks him to sign it for her using her real name, Denise. The man then asks her why she returned to her profession after her husband died, and she simply replies that she enjoys her freedom to do what she pleases while making money. The next day, at a comic convention, Chester, Kane, and Cecile congratulate Laura on her successful comic release. Just then, they see that Monty Moulins, now with her husband and daughter, is still making appearances at the convention. Recalling how the idea of being with her inspired him years ago, Chester briefly approaches the alluring woman and thanks her for being a big part of his life before leaving to meet Denise. Shortly after, the pair are recuperating from the deed when Denise reveals that she's quitting her job to explore other careers and return to school. Though happy with her decision, Chester suddenly proposes the idea of becoming her only client, but she's unsure of it. Meanwhile, Sunny calls Reed to make a sudden trip to Costa Rica with her to see the sloths. After watching the animals on her television all day, she convinces herself that spending time with them will bring her much-needed solitude. She manages to talk her boyfriend into it, and the two immediately book a flight. Upon arriving at their destination, the couple sunbathes to the relaxing sound of the ocean and the birds around them. Sunny expresses that it's a perfect moment she had always dreamed of. Unfortunately, Reed admits that he's falling in love with someone else, completely shocking her. Back in her house, A heartbroken Sunny pours her feelings out to Suzo, who advises her to take a break from relationships and start focusing on herself. Eventually, the somber woman considers her words, so she asks her friend to hire her in her new production company, to which her friend agrees without hesitation. Following a period of time, Chester and Denise settle into an exclusive arrangement, seeing only each other for paid companionship and intimacy. At one point, she agrees to let him include her as a character in his new book about his experiences with paid encounters, on the condition that he reveal as few details about her as possible. On the other hand, Sunny lives alone and is going through another heartbreak due to the loss of Mo. Once her ex-boyfriend hears about the news,